Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial on this Christmassy look. So this is my first Christmas video on my channel, which I'm really excited about. So I kind of decided to go for more of a green tone rather than a gold tone because I figure gold is actually quite simple to do, and obviously green is a very festive colour for Christmas. So I really hope you enjoyed the video, and please don't forget to like this video, that would be really great, and obviously subscribe if you want to. So let's get to it. So in winter my skin does get really dry, so before I started filming I did apply some moisturiser. So I used this Olay Anti-Wrinkle cream. So now that I've done that, I'm just going to be using my Olay, Olay Anti-Wrinkle again Day Serum, and I'm just going to be using that as a primer. It does work really well as a primer as well, and I'm just going to be applying it with just a foundation brush. This would be fine. It goes a long way, so you don't actually have to apply loads. So the next step that I'm going to do, because like I said, I get really dry under eyes and just around my eyes, I'm just going to be using this Ultra Lift Eye Contour Care by Garnier, and it's basically just hydrating eye gels. Obviously I'm using my ring finger because it's the weakest finger. I'm not actually going to be priming my eyelids because my eyelids don't really get that oily, so and plus because I said my eyelids do get quite dry in the winter, it kind of would just make that even worse. So I'm going to go in just with a little bit of translucent powder just to mattify it a bit. So I'm just using this one by Natural Collection. This is just a regular translucent powder, just on a really fluffy brush. The palette that I'm going to be using today is a mixture between the Soph X Revolution palette, and I really like this. This is the Extra Spice one. It's got some really nice colours in here. Very festive if you ask me. And then I'm also going to be using a few other ones, but I'll tell you as I go. So the very first colour I'm going to be using is this colour called Cookie Dough, and it's just that matte brown there, just for a transition shade in my crease. Applying this very, very lightly because I don't want that much colour. And then obviously with whatever's left on the brush, I'm just going to blend it upwards. And with the brush that I used to apply the translucent powder, I am just going to be blending out the edges because I don't want them to look too harsh. So the next colour I'm going to go in with is actually from this Urban Decay palette, and it's called Beauty with an Edge. It's actually stunning. It's got that as the lid. And then this is the palette. Looks like that. And then I'm just going to be using this colour here. It's a really nice emerald green, sort of like a teal green. It's called Deep End. And I'm going to pat rather than rub on my eyelid because again it's going to create a lot of fallout. So I'm just going to pat that onto my lid. That is absolutely gorgeous colour. I am just going to go in with another kind of deeper green colour and just blend that seamlessly into the crease colour because obviously they're a bit separate at the moment. So the colour I'm going to be using to do this is from the Soph X Revolution palette again, and the colour is called Aurora, and it's this really nice kind of moss green here. It's shimmery as well, so it's going to blend nicely with the blue. And I'm just applying this right where the blue and the transition shade meet. So now I've got that colour down, I actually think I might prefer maybe that colour a bit more all over the lid. So I'm going to use that blue as a base to make it pop. But also now I'm going to use the same colour all over my eyelid and just blend the two together to see what colour it creates. So this is a really pretty colour, but it's just nowhere near as pigmented as the Deep End by Urban Decay. But like I said, it is still a really pretty colour. You just have to work a bit more with it. I might just use my finger just to get a bit of the pigmentation. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So maybe the shimmer colours in this palette work a little bit better using your finger rather than a brush. I'm actually loving how this colour is turning out. It's blending really well with the brown that I first applied. But I am just going to go in with that first blending brush and blend it out even more with a tiny bit of this Aurora green colour. I find that really difficult to say and I'm not sure why. Yeah, see, that's blending out really nicely. And then for this bit, I do find it really easy just to look forward rather than look up, so then I can see what the overall eyeshadow is going to look like when I've got my eyes open, not just when I'm looking down. So for the lower lash line, I'm just going to be using a fluffy brush and the same cookie dough colour. I'm going to be taking the Aurora again. I've had to switch my brush because that other brush was not working. It's just a dense flat brush. Yeah, that's working a bit better. So to further darken the bottom lash line, I'm actually going to be using this colour by a brand called Gosh, and it's in 014 Dark Green. It's actually a really pretty colour, as you can see. On the same brush that I just used, this one's very pigmented, so I'm just going to be tapping off my brush a bit. And then just applying that on the very outer part of my lower lash line. And blending that to the corner with everything else. Now I'm actually going to take a tiny bit of this dark green Gosh colour as well and just apply it on the outer corner of my eyelid just to deepen that up a bit so it blends a bit better with the lower lash line. For foundation, I'm just going to be using this one by No7. This is the Instant Radiance foundation. First going to be applying this with a buffing brush, but then going to go in with a makeup sponge after. So the concealer I'm going to be using is the Collection Concealer, and this is just the Under Eye Lasting Perfection Concealer. Just to highlight. So I'm using the pointy end of the sponge. So when I get really close to the lash line, I'm actually going to be going in with my finger because of course I do not want to smudge the eyeshadow. And as you can see, that actually worked really well. This concealer is absolutely brilliant and it probably only cost about $5, so really would recommend checking that one out if you're in for a drugstore concealer. Powder, I don't need a lot of powder because like I've said about 1,000 times in this video, my skin gets very dry, especially in winter. So I'm just going to be setting the places where I need it the most. So it's just going to be like around my chin, a tiny bit on my cheeks, and I'm going to bake my chin because that's where it gets more oily. So I'm going to be using the No7 Fair Perfect Light Loose powder, and this is just basically a translucent powder. You'll probably see that my chin will just soak this in, which is kind of gross, but everyone has their problem areas and mine is my chin. I'm just going to be applying powder to the rest of my face now. Not a lot of powder at all, I'm literally just using what's left in the cap, and I'm literally just going to be applying just a tiny bit everywhere else. So for my eyebrows, I'm going to do them off camera and come back because that's a whole different story and it just takes forever. So now that my eyebrows are done, I will just tell you what I used. I used the NYX Professional Precision Brow Pencil. I really do like this. It does what it says on the tin. It's very precise, which is why I like it, especially for the end of my tail. Brow gel, I used the Pixi brow gel. Excuse me, it looks kind of disgusting at the moment, but obviously that is just brow product in there, nothing else. For mascara, I'm just going to be using some eyelash curlers. Always use eyelash curlers because my eyelashes grow straight. And then for the mascara, I'm just going to be using the L'Oreal Paradise Extatic mascara. This is the waterproof one. It does stay on all day. I really like it because I have trouble with mascaras flaking. I'm just going to be using these really cute fluttery lashes by, I think I bought them off eBay actually. I'm not really sure where, but I will try and link the product down below. My lashes are finally on. That just took ages. Whilst I was doing that, I did actually apply some of this Nugg, I think it's like a lip cream. It's like a lip plumping cream. To be honest, it does really work. I don't know if you could probably notice the difference between my top lip now and about 2 minutes ago. I'm just going to be applying some blush, and the blush I'm actually going to be using is kind of like a blush slash bronzer colour. So I'm going to be using the colour ND010 from Zoeva, and it's just that colour there. I'm just going to apply a tiny bit to my temples because like I said, it is kind of a bronzer colour as well as a blush. But for my jawline, I'm actually going to be using a different product, and this is the Jerome Alexander Magic Minerals Bronzer. I do really like this. I also like their Magic Minerals powder. I'm not going to be swirling into that one. I'm just going to be swirling into these 3 bronzer shades just for a tiny bit of colour on my chin and just blend it down a tiny bit to my neck. So now that's done, one of the last steps is just to apply a highlighter, and I'm going to be using this highlighter by Obsession, and this is just in 110 Flame, and it's a really pretty gold shade. Because it's got some gold, it's gonna go really well with the kind of gold reflex in this green eyeshadow. Obviously down my nose. I know you might think it's weird, but I do apply highlighter just above my brow bone because I feel like it lifts the face and gives it a little bit more dimension, but not, I apply barely any, almost like what's left on the brush. So for lips, I am going to show you two options. So you could obviously either go for a red, considering it's around Christmas time and it's just really festive, or you can go for a nude. So obviously the nude is a more safe option because you've got a lot going on the eyes, but I'm going to show you two. I'm just going to be using the Anastasia lip palette. I'm just going to be using this shade right here, which is one of the primary shades, and it's just called Primary 3. So that was with the red. Obviously it's a very bold look, but I do actually think it goes really well because obviously red and green, very Christmassy, and I think they complement each other quite a lot. The colour I'm going to be using is this one by MAC, and it's an amplified lipstick, and it's just called Blankety, and it just looks like that. So this is the completed look. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Bye guys. Not gonna lie, a tiny bit of that just got in my eye. Now my eye's watering, so I just kind of need to do like really awkward poses now.